on one of these pages. Now, don't expect your students to complete every skill with hundreds of skills per grade level. That's really beyond reach. Now, it's your call what students do on IXL and, of course, what they do elsewhere. Now, if I take my mouse and I simply hover over any of these skills, I get something called the skill preview. This walks me through 4 different types of questions that my students could anticipate seeing within this particular skill. Now, our skills are designed to be truly adaptive. So at every step of the way, students are supported, challenged, and motivated at the right level. And this special blend is what inspires every student to keep working to reach their full potential. Now, I do want to take a look at a skill together so you can see what I'm really talking about. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to switch over to my student account. Now, you'll notice that my student account is very similar to my teacher account, right? Everything my students are able to do in the Learning tab, I, as a teacher, I have full access to that as well. Now, once again, I'm going to go to Learning, Math, and 5th grade. Keep in mind, I am logged in as a student. Now, once I go into a skill here, obviously, let's actually just find a skill. I want to point out a couple of different features available to you, not as just as teachers, but also to my students as well. Now, when students click into a skill, they see a few different features that greet them. The first one is this Learn with an Example feature up top. Now, the Learn with an Example feature provides a sample question, a short remember box or reviewing the key idea within the skill itself, and also the solution of the sample question provided. You'll notice to the right-hand side of the screen that IXL keeps track of how many questions a student has answered, how much active time has gone by within this skill, and of course, a student's SMART score. Now, I'm going to go ahead and answer a couple questions correct. Now, obviously, these questions are pretty easy. At the beginning of the skill, IXL really builds that foundation and confidence for a student. Now, when I do get a question correct, a few things occur. I get that immediate positive feedback. My score has gone up. And if we were to keep going through this skill, you would start to see that the questions do become a little bit more difficult for me. So once again, you can start to see that the questions, are getting a little bit more difficult. You'll notice that the fraction itself has a larger denominator, so more pieces that I, the student, now have to count. Now, when students get questions wrong on skill practice, a few things occur. Their SMART score will drop just a little bit, but they're also given a detailed explanation of the original question, how they answered, and also a step-by-step solution to the missed question. Now, a student can click got it, and they're moving on. You'll notice that a student, when they get a question wrong, the very next question will be a little bit easier to regain that momentum and rebuild that foundation. Now, our questions are computer generated, so they're not from a question bank. Essentially, every question is unique. Our questions, as I mentioned, also adapt, so they do become more or less difficult as students are getting them correct or incorrect. Now, the SMART score listed to the right-hand side over here is IXL's own proprietary scoring system that measures a student's current progress in a skill. Now, something I want to just make clear, the SMART score is not a percentage. It analyzes question difficulty, answer accuracy, and also consistency of correct responses. Now, for each IXL skill, we do suggest, while students are working at home, that students work to a SMART score of 80, which is considered a proficiency score on IXL. Now, this will give you assurance that your students have a really good grasp on that skill. Then, if students achieve proficiency and they're ready for a challenge, encourage them to strive for mastery, which is that high standard of 100. Now, to get started with our students, again, that was just a brief overview of skill practice, what your students could experience. Now, how exactly do we find and assign skills that are appropriate for our students? Now, you simply need to choose an IXL skill that really supports your objective for students' learning. Now, with over 8,000 skills, IXL is designed to cover any topic you might want your students to work on while they're at home. Now, we have a few different ways to find the right skill for your students. Now, since you're just getting started, I would recommend finding skills using one of these following methods here. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to go to my teacher account once again. I want to share with you this grades view. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click into various other subjects as well, because as I mentioned, you do have access to all 4 subjects. So obviously on my teacher account, if I click into learning math, I can click into any specific grade level and it brings me to a page similar to this. I can do this for every subject. So let's just go ahead and go to science for a moment. I can go to science, navigate to any grade level that I need to from here as well. Now, in addition to browsing skills by grade level, IXL's new skill plans make it even easier for teachers to find the perfect skills for their students to work on in ELA and math. I'm going to return to math here for just a moment. Directly below math, you'll see where it says I can view this page by skill plans. Now, these skill plans, once again, are available for both math and language arts. Now, your IXL skill plan is an essential part for lesson planning that gives you the exact skills you need to keep students learning during these school closures. Now, IXL offers several different types of skill plans that you can see listed here. We have skill plans that align to various textbooks. And we also have different test preparation skill plans and, of course, our own state standard skill plans. And we're going to get to those here in just a moment. Now, the first skill plan I want to go over is our Spring Spotlight skill plan. Now, these are designed to provide teachers and students with a day-by-day plan of essential skills students can work on while at home. Now, again, we specifically developed these Spring Spotlight skill plans for this period of time that we're in education. Let's just say I'm that 5th grade math teacher and I want some skills for my 5th graders to work on. Again, these Spring Spotlight skill plans give my students a day-by-day plan of what they could do on their own. Now, this provides me, the teacher, with an 8-week plan for my students, of course, broken down by day. Now, within each day, students are given 2 skills to work on. Keep in mind, we also have this Spring Spotlight available for ELA as well. Something I do want to point out while we're on this page, again, if you wanted a preview of the skill, you can hover over that skill, see exactly what is being covered within that skill as well. I also want you to notice to the left of any skill, we do have that gray star. We'll be talking about how to star or suggest skills for students in just a few moments. I'm going to return back to those skill plans. As I begin to scroll through this math skill plans page, you'll also see the Texas Math State Standards alignment. So if I wanted to click into the 5th grade TEKS, I simply click in. I can find the standard that I'm using in class or as part of my instruction. And then, of course, those IXL skills that align directly to that specific standard. Keep in mind, once again, I do have those gray stars where I am able to star and suggest skills directly from this page to my students. Now, once again, I'm going to return back to that skill plans page. I worked with a group earlier from Laredo. They mentioned that at the elementary level, we are using Envision Math. So as you scroll down through this page, you will start to see those textbook skill plans. Here is Envision Math. I'm going to go ahead and click directly into 5th grade. And from here, you can see a breakdown by chapter within the textbook. And very similar to the other skill plans that we just saw, you see IXL skills that are directly correlated to your specific textbook. Now, once again, I'm going to go ahead and click back to that skill plans page. I do want to just highlight a few special skill plans that we do have. On the navigation bar over to the right, we do have different test preparation skill plans. Now, if we were to click on these test preparation skill plans, it would take us to the bottom of this page. Now, IXL provides both math and ELA test preparation skill plans for the SAT, the ACT, the TABE. Specific to Texas, we have the Texas Aligned NWA Map Growth Assessment, and we also have highly assessed TEKS as well. Now, if I go ahead and click on this, it's going to bring me to that document down here. If I were to click directly into highly assessed TEKS, again, let's just stick with 5th grade. I can see those highly assessed TEKS that are used on those state assessments. And then, of course, those IXL skills that directly correlate to those TEKS.